Yes! Happy Halloween season! Don't argue with me. You know that you believe it's true.
August is Halloween season.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Welcome to the Scare Guy Show, everybody, the official podcast of thescareguy.com. We are here on the YouTube network of that hashtag show, our great partners, where we as filmmakers discuss horror films, haunted events, which we're going into deep tonight, spooky news, and anything that is scary fun. My name is Jim Fry. I'm the scariest guy here. I'm a writer and editor-in-chief of the ScareGuy.com and also the Con Guy. I have a spirited crew of haunted fans joining me tonight. Let's start right up here with Katie.
Hi, everyone. It is Katie, a.k.a. Final Girl. Although now that Danae's here, I don't know if that still makes me the Final Girl or if we're the Final Girls. I don't know what
that means. We're going to outlive all boys.
But I am the basic girl that just instantly is in spooky season as soon as August happens. So, yeah. By the way, before anybody else goes, I just have to say, those of you who aren't Halloween all the year long around, don't judge the people who are. I have been judged so much for buying Halloween stuff already, like every place I go. And that's not cool, y'all. It's not cool. Just saying.
Much love. Much love. Ben, since we're up there with you.
Woohoo! Hey, everyone. It's me, old buddy Ben. Yeah, I'm stoked. You know what? I was just talking with you guys before the show. I got into a thing with my wife because she's like, can we put up Halloween decorations now? And I was like, nah, my birthday's on August 22nd. Let's just wait until after my birthday. But you know what? I already said, we celebrate Halloween and Christmas for a third of the year. September, October is Halloween. November, December is Christmas. But you know what? I don't see why we can't say, okay, Christmas in July, then it takes a break. We have Halloween, August, September, October, then Christmas, November, December, with leftovers in January. So we're really celebrating Halloween and Christmas a little more than 6 months out of the year. So I'm going to have to amend my statement, and I'm going to issue a live on the air official apology to my wife, Brianna, and I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry.
Hey, Ben.
Happy Halloween.
Ben, you look.
That's good.
And now, Jonathan, this is the perfect time. Halloween. Get it right this time. All right. And also, hello to Ashley Chitwood. We are glad to see you. Or to meet you. All right. Right below Ben, who do we have? And she's muted. There we go.
I unmuted. Sorry, my computer fan was like really loud just now. Hi, y'all. I'm Danae Sands. I'm half of the Samblings. The other half isn't here because he's at nerd camp. And I'm the other half of the Con Girls. And I'm just so excited to talk three things. I brought along Stanford, my trusty skull that is out year-round. You may recognize him from the cover of my book. I'm a writer and comedian.
Plug the book, please.
My book, Queen of Hell. Because we're in Halloween now, I'll talk about it. If you like history, historical fiction, or anything Greek mythology, you would love Queen of Hell. Thank you, Jim. I'm awful at talking about my own stuff, and it's you guys and my roommate that's always like, no, talk about your book! Thanks for that. But yeah, Stanford is featured on the cover.
Awesome.
That's not Yorick.
No, it's Stanford. It goes by Stan. Don't you follow
that's
me?
No Yorick. I knew him.
Hashtag.
I know him.
All right. Who else? Who do we have down there beside Danae?
Oh, hello.
You. Jeez.
I was looking for ghosts in the house. We're talking Halloween, and the ghost of Christmas Cheeseman here, sitting here down by the Tiki Bar with ScareGuy.com, also screenwriter.
That's right. And I just want to say right up front, I couldn't be happier that we are starting our 4th season of the Scare Guy tonight. This is the 4th season of the Scare Guy show, and we are going to bring it this year, guys. We are excited. Last year, as we know, was a little bit sketchy. This year, our fingers are crossed. Ben, can you give us, I hate to put you on the spot, could you give us a health and wellness update for what we can expect?
Sure thing. Now, I am not a doctor. I am not a nurse. I am not a medical professional. I do work in the healthcare field. So I have access to a lot of information that is being given to me. I do work for the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health. And so I am kind of saturated in information with regards to the current status of the COVID-19 pandemic and all that kind of stuff. So what we're seeing right now, obviously, at least in California and Southern California, Los Angeles County, the majority of cases now, well over 80%, and it might even be above that now, of cases are due to the Delta variant. And what that is it is a mutation of the original COVID virus, because the longer a virus is able to be around and spread and get into people, it will start growing, it will start changing and evolving. And as we try to fight against it, it can sometimes learn how to get past that. Now, what we're seeing with the Delta variant is it's much more contagious than the previous variant of the coronavirus or COVID-19. We're also seeing that we're seeing a lot of what are called breakthrough infections, which is people who are vaccinated are still catching it and getting sick. However, what we are seeing in people who have been vaccinated is that the vaccine is still protecting 100% against hospitalization, severe symptoms, and death. You can still get sick, and it can still be like a bad flu. However, we are seeing that the vaccines are preventing long-term damage, at least in the short-term research. They've studied people's lungs after COVID who have not had the vaccine and who have, and there's less damage to vaccinated lungs. And again, the vaccine is preventing people from being hospitalized and dying, whereas we still are seeing that in people who are unvaccinated. And of course, the large majority of people who are being hospitalized right now are unvaccinated. So we would, I think it's the official stance of the Con Guy Show that we would encourage you to look into getting vaccinated. Look into resources like the CDC. I know a lot of people are like, CDC, they said this and that. It's not flip-flopping when you're presented with new information and then change the information that you're giving to people. So we're seeing the scientific method in real time, and as we learn more, then we have to change what the official kind of policy is. So yeah, I would say we just encourage everybody, if you haven't yet, check out getting vaccinated. It's super simple. There are no microchips in it. Trust me, none of us are worth tracking by injecting us with microchips.
I'm pretty interesting. What are you talking about?
We're holding them in our hands right now. They don't need anything more than this. They don't need to inject us with anything. We're already attached to these things.
Hey, listen. And I just want to say, to add on to what Ben's saying, before anybody tunes us off as that bunch of lefties, I want you to know our collection of personalities here is all over the map politically and culturally. We all believe a lot of the same stuff, but we can come at it from different perspectives. But you know what? We all love each other, and we're not going to sit here and yell at each other. We do have lefties, we have righties, we have me, woohoo! And let's just save Halloween. Let's get back into conventions.
Save Halloween. That's important. Last year we couldn't do it. Okay, this year let's please save Halloween.
Yes.
I want to go see my 96-year-old grandmother. So don't mess that up. I will kick your ass if you mess that up. That's all I'm going to say. She lives in Tennessee, and I want to go see her. All right.
You know, Jim, I think this might be a perfect segue into the big announcement that I told you.
Wait. Dun, dun, dun! Big announcement!
I have a huge announcement tonight, and I'm so stoked about it. I'm very excited, and it kind of goes along the lines of what Jim was just saying.
By the way, we don't know what this announcement is, anybody.
Nobody knows what this is except for me. So if you recall, let's go back to February of 2021, 6 months ago. You know, we were steeped in political drama. We were steeped in nerd drama. And one of the key defining events of that month, and one that was widely discussed on this show, was the firing of Gina Carano from The Mandalorian by the Disney Corporation. And it sparked I actually went back and watched that episode, and it was actually really great. It was a lot of really good discussion. Good points were made from various viewpoints, not just A and B, but C, D, E, and F as well.
Yep.
And one of the things that happened, let me tell you what. As Jim said before, we all love each other.
I'm super intrigued right now, Ben. You got me.
My life is enriched. I am made wealthy by the friendship that I have with these people on the show. Being friends with a guy like Jim makes me rich in friendship. However, in this particular case, being friends with a guy like Jim makes me rich financially as well. Because if you recall, on that very program, Jim made the bold statement saying, 6 months from now, Gina Carano will have been driven off and banned from Twitter.
I never said that.
You said that on the air. You bet me $100.
Oh, no.
Gina Carano would no longer be on Twitter in 6 months. That 6-month due date is today, and Gina Carano has been posting within the last few hours right on Twitter, and now Jim Fry owes me $100 American. My friends,
opening my Venmo account. It's about to be there. Are you, Ben? You're so good.
You said
this.
Jim would be happy.
You know, you had me going there for a second, Ben, but you got me in that third act. You know.
The flux capacitors. May I point out on Facebook, the flux capacitors, the cover band of the century, have now said pay up to Jim. So
all right.
Oh,
it's out there.
The flux capacitors are. Oh, wait. We got this. Is awesome. Yo, flux guys.
They're coming after you, Jim.
What's up, guys?
By the way,
Are we going to see some shows soon?
We have been to many a flux capacitor show. I know Ben and Luke. You know the lead singer, and it's these guys are great. Hey guys, send us some links. We'd love to promote whatever you guys are doing. You guys are great. Ben, I don't want to ask for your Venmo right now live.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to ask if he'll accept payment in margaritas. That's what I thought.
No, he wants money. He wants money. All right.
You should send him. You should send it in margaritas. Just a big box of margaritas.
Hey, can I say something though? Just to tag on to what Ben said, I so appreciate what he just said there about like we can be all over the place. We can disagree about so much stuff, and I'm not saying that me and Ben are on the opposite sides or the same sides. I don't want to give away. You guys can probably listen to us and hear where we are. I don't like politics creeping into the show, but if someone wants it to, that's their choice. But I just thank you, Ben, for saying that. I love the fact that all of us here, we have things that unite us, and that's what we talk about. That's what we concentrate on. And I guess it helps that we all been stuck at home for a year, but still. Yeah. I love you guys so very much. This is to you. Where's your drinks? Oh, this thing. Hey, Ben, what's in that cup there?
Not wine.
Oh, Danae, is that like boxed wine?
Yep.
I love it. All right, guys. Katie, before we jump, guys, just so all of you that are watching, we are going to talk about Halloween Horror Nights, Not Scary Farm, Disney, Howl-O-Scream, all that good fun stuff. But Katie, first of all, you are in the middle of is it 100-day countdown to Halloween?
It is not 100. I mean, it's not the middle of it. It's like the first quarter.
Tell us about what you're doing.
So a Halloween blogger on Instagram, her by the name of Halloween Happy. I feel like it is important for me to include her because she is the one who created this. It is a 100-day photo a day challenge leading up to and including Halloween Day. And it started in July, as 100 days before Halloween. And she put together the whole prompt of what we post every day. Today, I believe, is day 16, and she is posting them in 25-day increments. And I'm having so much fun. It's a little bit of a challenge because, like, I haven't, like, completely busted out all my Halloween stuff yet. And, like, I'm still in the middle of shopping because you got to start shopping early. The Halloween fans, they will get all the good stuff. So I need to make sure I do it early so I, too, can have some good stuff. So it'll just get better, I'm sure. But like today's is like post your favorite small business for horror stuff. And there's been like your outfit of the day. There's been post something orange, post something, you know, like leaves and all this different stuff. And I'm having fun. So if you all want to follow along or you want to do it along with us, you can follow Halloween Happy on her Instagram. And she has the prompts there, but also hashtag 100 days of Halloween Happy. And it's fun. I found out about it because of Midsummer Scream. They posted about it.
And we're going to talk about that just a second. Hey, Katie, this is very cool. I would love to follow along with what you're doing on the Con Guy Twitter, hashtag the Con Girls, as well as let's do some cool stuff on the website. I'd love to see because I've been watching what you've been doing every day, and it's really cool. I saw something the other day on Facebook. It was you know how like at Christmas time they have the Advent calendars. They have a Halloween Advent calendar for the month of October. I just saw it's a big castle, and every single one of the doors opens up and a new character pops out. I think I'm going to get that. I just don't know where I'm going to put it, but I'm super stoked about that.
Well, like
and then on the last day,
go
ahead. I was going to say on the last day of Halloween Advent, Satan is born.
Oh my gosh. I did a Halloween countdown one time in 2001. I was doing a countdown and I worked at a company that I loved. And I got down to like the last day before Halloween, and then they eliminated our department. So I'm like, I'm not doing that again. And I do have to say this, Ben, could you please text me your Venmo? Because I want to complete this deal before the show is over to show people I am a man of my word.
Ben, just announce it live so people can tip you.
No, you guess if you want to do
Yeah,
that.
totally.
People
Are we
don't
posting our Cash Apps? Because I could do that. I could have more money for Halloween decorations. You know, things that are important in life.
Am I doing anything where people just want to send me money?
I don't know.
Go ahead,
I
man.
hope so.
$100
How
to
many-
wear
That
a
out
dress.
there.
All right.
Was anybody else freaked out by Katie's background, like when it was full screen, like somebody was gonna like silhouette like in her door? I've seen too many horror movies where I just saw that background, like, Katie, there's someone behind you.
You know
Behind
what's funny
you.
is my dress form is in there, and so if it was in the right spot, it would literally look like there was a person in my room because it's dressed and everything. So like,
So
there
real
was some
quick,
Michael Myers in your guys' house.
yeah,
Just a normal thing.
Michael Myers right now is Batman. He's about to become Michael Myers. You gotta switch him out. It's the seasonal switch.
Why
Luke,
not both?
Luke, could you give give those who are listening and the viewers a little bit of a preview? We got a couple of really cool Halloween themed interviews that we've done recently that we're going to be sharing in the next couple of weeks. What are they?
We have Lisa Wilcox, who is in Nightmare on Elm Street. What was it? It was a part 4 or 5?
Part 4 and 5. She was Alice, the main character, parts 4 and 5.
And we have Sandy Johnson, who is who, Jim?
Oh, this one makes me so happy. Judith Myers from the original Halloween. We were able to talk with her for a while, and wait. Let me see. Yeah, I guess I can do that. I loved speaking with her. This was an amazing interview. And let me tell you, talking to one of the actors from the original Halloween, my favorite all-time horror movie, is just amazing. And she was such a breath of fresh air. And it was cool hearing about some of the reasons why she even did Halloween and why she did some of the stuff she did. And talking about that first shot, the big, long, Steadicam shot into the house and everything. It's really – the thing that we learned that was so interesting about that, you know when she discovered that Halloween had become a hit movie? 5 years ago. She didn't know.
What?
It was on the 40th anniversary of Halloween. They sent out a search party trying to locate where Judith Myers was, and they asked her to come back to the show to do here in Pasadena to do the show, the 40th anniversary of Halloween show. And she's like, "Really?" And they said, "Yeah, you've got fans." She goes, "From what? From Halloween?" She goes, and they brought her in, and she goes, "Well, I guess I could sign some pictures. You think I'll have any?" They opened up the doors, and she had a line of people around the block to get her autograph. And that is when she discovered her brand new life as a person. Now she loves the convention scene. She has a PhD. She was a teacher and everything. And I'm like, this is amazing. Now she's Dr. Judith Myers.
Let me tell you what, if just to tack on to that really quickly, one thing I'm looking forward to is disease being lessened and and being able to go back full scale for comic book conventions. And we'll see, like, I think, this Thanksgiving weekend San Diego Comic-Con thing it's kind of like a makeup test, like it's like you can come on Saturday, and I think that's I don't know if I can even get tickets to that, but we'll see.
They
But
haven't announced tickets yet, yeah.
But Los Angeles Comic-Con is going to be happening in December, and I don't know how that's going to go. It's really going to depend on how things are going with, COVID and Delta variant and the incoming Lambda variant or whatever it is. And that's no official language. That's just hearsay. I've heard.
I was going to make a really bad joke, and I refrained.
I was going to
That would get us in trouble, Katie.
I was going to say it'll be like the jingle jingle variant, because it's Christmas time.
Katie.
Boo.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I should not be joking about it.
But yeah, depending on what everything's going. But to get back to doing full-scale cons, if you've never been, make a plan. If you've never been to a comic book convention, even if there's a little one, a local one near you, if you're not near one of the big cities, make a plan, keep your eyes, search the internet, keep your eyes peeled for it. And next time there is a comic book convention near you or somehow attainable, go, especially if you've never been before. If it's safe to go, and you will have an absolute, if you're watching this show, I can guarantee you'll have an absolute, hold on. If you're enjoying this show, I can guarantee that you will have an absolute blast at a convention.
No, just say if you're watching. They
You
don't have
just
to
lost
enjoy
3
us.
viewers as you said that.
Also, for those of you who are watching and haven't been to a convention, and you have questions, or you want someone to maybe give you some lowdown, we don't know if anything, so you shouldn't tweet us your questions if you have them. So
Yeah, we'd love, and let's talk about that for a second, real quick. This is not the Con Guy Show. I encourage everybody to watch the Con Guy Show. It's a lot of fun. We talk about the convention scene, more of your broader nerd and geek culture. This right here is the Scare Guy, the Scare side. But this Saturday is Free Comic Book Day, so check out the health guidelines in your area, and if it's available, grab your mask, go in and do free comic support. These comic book shops that have been so hurt during this past year and a half. They need us in there, guys. So go in there, check out Free Comic Book Day, get some comic books. There's a lot of free comic books, but discover something new that you love. And Ben, I know that you do your pulls and you have your comic books that can you give us a 30-second promo on the spot for Free Comic Book Day?
Free Comic Book Day is great because you will have a lot of the comic book publishers will put out free copies of either a kind of a sampler of some of their different titles that they carry, or they'll do 1 or 2 or a handful of free one-off issues from series that they print, or even just a free issue of a current run on a comic book. And if you're not into comic books, they are such a great medium because you kind of, there is this kind of stigma about them being, oh, it's cartoons, it's kid stuff, it's whatever. There is some of the best storytelling and some of the best visual art that you can find is happening in comic books right now. And yes, some of it's over the top and crazy, but the artists are legit. The writers are writers who know how to write. These are not amateurs. So you've got some of the best literature out there right now is being produced in comic book form. So I would strongly encourage you to go check out Free Comic Book Day. Pick up something for free. If you want to buy something, they're like $3, $4, maybe $5 a piece, tops. If you just want to get a single issue, pick up a trade, which is a collection of a series. This is Kingdom Come from DC, and some great storylines, great characters, fantastic writing, beautiful art. Go check it out.
All right, very cool. And we are going to start talking about some events coming up. We're going to talk about the cool guys. Halloween is starting. Let's talk about some Halloween events. There's 2 cool events that we got to talk about real quick. One is happening this Saturday and Sunday. This kind of is a surprise for us. But I do have to say this before we jump in there. We did have a halfway to Halloween event recently. Well, back when it was. And Danae, I think this is yours.
That's mine. It could. Okay,
Whatever
I did not.
whatever your costume was, this was left behind.
Red, white, and blue party.
No, that was at your 4th of July party.
Oh, 4th of July. That wasn't Halloween. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and on the drive home, because I had a couple of drinks, so I let my roommate drive. She had only had Coca-Cola that night. And Katie was in the back seat with her roommate. I kept calling Luke and Jim, like, hey, I lost a piece of my ring. Do you guys see it? Is it there? And you both hung up on me.
And this was
I was like, Danae, you need to call them tomorrow.
I did. Oh, okay.
This was the Friday before 4th of July.
Yes.
Right,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Because Ben, you guys had an awesome, like, I saw some pictures. I wasn't able to make it I don't want to go into the reasons. We had some reasons we could not stop by your party. But you guys had a really, a dad's, what was it called? The dad's 4th of July?
Leave it to Cleaver's 4th of July dad McHugh.
Yeah.
Katie, you went, right?
Yeah. And Ben and I and Danae shotgunned a beer. Or was it you? Yeah, because you hadn't shotgunned a beer before. So we shotgunned a beer with Ben and I. And it's on video somewhere.
There is a video. I could send it out.
Yes.
I wanted to go so bad.
We should have Jim do it live on the show because I don't think.
Yeah, that's going to be
dressed as my own dad, shotgunning a beer, something my own father has never had or never ever even come close to doing. But
hey, so real quick, so Katie, this weekend is it's called. Let me see, it's right here. It's
Midsummer Scream.
Yeah, can you tell everybody what that is?
Midsummer Scream is a horror convention that happens, like in the name, in the middle of summer. They skipped a couple of years, I believe. I think the last time they did it was 2018. Because I don't think they had it.
They did 19.
Did they have it in 2019?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a big event that takes place in the Pasadena Convention Center. I have not actually been able to go because of work in the past.
Oh.
I don't know if I'll be able to. I went to Scare LA, but I don't think I actually ever made it to Midsummer Scream.
Yeah.
Maybe I did once. I can't remember. There's so many Halloween things, I forget. But it's this weekend in Pasadena, this Saturday and Sunday, August 14th through 15th. That's when they have a lot of panels that kind of talk about the haunt season. So one of our favorites, Halloween Horror Nights, has a panel. That's when they start talking about the maze. Usually they announce a new maze at these things as well. They usually talk about all the different scare events and all sorts of spooky vendors. They usually have like a cat adoption as well. I don't know if they still will, but they usually have something.
Yeah, it says this year, and because they didn't know they were going to have it because of health restrictions, they didn't know if it was going to happen. But because we're kind of in between. I don't want to say we're in a spot where it looks like we can have it right now. So Midsummer Scream is called Awaken the Spirits. It's kind of like, because it's a little bit of it's a kind of a pop-up they're calling. They're having another event later in the year, like spirit, like holiday spirits or something like that, closer to the end of the year. But they said that the Midsummer Scream Awaken the Spirits will feature over 200 spooky vendors, live entertainment, and a presentation stage where fans will learn what's in store for Halloween 2021 from LA Haunted Hayride, Delusion, which is a very cool, immersive event, which we might be attending, Scare Guys. I just thought I'd let you know. Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Which is Fright Fest.
Yeah, Winchester Mystery House. And I got a price tag on my shirt. I just noticed it.
It sounded like there was like a demon possession going on for a second there.
What is that noise? I keep hearing the.
You said Winchester Mystery House, and I got excited.
Yeah.
And
John
John
making a movie.
Halloween Horror Nights is supposed to be there, giving some of their final announcements for their Hollywood portion of Halloween Horror Nights. So it's a big deal. I know that I am going to try, and I think Cheese might be trying to hit the Sunday version. We can't hit the Saturday version because Cheeseman's birthday, and we're going deep sea fishing.
Wait, how does that fit in with Cheeseman and his shark phobia?
Cheeseman's in the middle of the boat with 25 life preservers on him.
Yeah. How is that going to help you in a shark attack?
He wants to fish for a shark and eat it before it eats him.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Exactly.
Okay.
But that's an endangered species, Luke, and you're going to federal prison.
Luke does not like celebrating his birthday, so I encourage everybody, send him happy birthday comments because he hates that. Do it. All right, and real quick, we're going to head into not scary right after this, but there's another event that was just announced recently. This is from LA Comic-Con, actually. LA Comic-Con is happening here in the Los Angeles area. It's in December, right? I think it's December. But this October, the first weekend in October, they're having something called Halloween Rising, a Stranger Experience. It's a Stranger Things themed party that they are having. Let me see. It says here, last year we lost many things, but we are back. It's been over a year, and now it's time to celebrate in your favorite costumes with your favorite people, and it's a Stranger Things party. LA Comic-Con presents a full night of live entertainment libations, that's drinks for you people, and immersive decor by XLE Productions and a bunch of other people, dance floor, DJs, special. The flux capacitors are performing, by the way, guys. So anyways, we will have the link right now is on the Scare Guy Facebook page, but we'll make sure to put that on the website to make sure everybody finds out about that. It's the first weekend in October. Again, fingers crossed that we can all gather inside with large gatherings, but it also says on the website, whatever the current guidelines are, we can't wait to see you guys at this event, Flux Capacitors.
Can I make one more announcement?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, so I don't know how many of you guys have been to it, but a few years back, I went to the Rated R Speakeasy with one of my friends, and Carrie has gone to the Rated R Speakeasy before. But unfortunately, for those of you who may have gone or was interested in it, they did announce this week that they were canceling their event on August 20th and 21st, just due to all that's going on in the world. It is inside a building, so I think they just made the decision. They put a big statement about it on their Instagram. But it's actually a really cool event. So if you guys do like horror events, you like maybe smaller things that are a little bit more under your control than like, going through a maze and getting scared. It's a little thing they call the Rated R Speakeasy, where you literally enter through racks and racks and racks of wardrobe, because it is a costume shop that it takes place at. So you have to like go through there, and that's a little bit of a scary thing, but they actually make it feel like a speakeasy. And they usually have aerial artists and stuff like that. And it's a really cool event, but unfortunately they did announce it was canceled for August 20th and 21st. But if you are interested in that and you live in the Glendale area, follow them. Follow them and see what they do in the future. Hopefully once it's a little bit safer for them to do so.
And there's a lot of gratuitous nudity.
A lot of what?
Gratuitous nudity. That's nudity. That's why it's rated R.
Okay.
There wasn't that at the one I went to.
Me and Carrie went to a haunted experience like 2 weeks ago with some pretty in-your-face gratuitous nudity, and we were like, that's the scariest part. No, it was fun. These guys were great.
Because it was Jim.
I just drank too much. Hey, Ben, did I see that you're going to, or you're interested in it's a spirited cocktail soiree? Was that you? Somebody on social media?
Well, so we had tickets to it 2 years ago, and we didn't end up going. What's it called? Something spirits.
Yeah, it's happening again.
Yeah.
And it's happening this coming month. It's a haunted soiree of cocktails, and you're in a big house.
Oh, yeah, they had that a couple years ago. I remember that.
Yeah, it's happening here in LA. I don't want to bore everybody listening. If you're not living in LA, I apologize. So let's get on to, West Coast stuff. And Katie and Danae, I just want to know, are you guys going to go with us to some of these haunted experiences this year?
Jim, if you have to ask me that, you don't know me very well.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait for you to go, Katie, because Katie showed us through the Queen Mary, which I did not put on the run sheet tonight.
It's not on because it's not happening this year.
Yeah, they were canceled this year, right? Yeah, that's very sad. But they're kind of
Queen Mary is not in a very good place right now. So
also it's sinking.
Yeah, that's why I meant it's not in a good place right now. Like it's
the Queen Mary is currently sinking, and they can't really do anything about it apparently.
Yeah. And also
there's actual spirits on there. Right,
the Queen Mary is sinking?
Mm-hmm.
It's slowly sinking because of poor maintenance. Apparently.
Yeah.
That's
more ghosts to come on that boat.
I'm laughing, but it is heartbreaking.
It is very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite haunted experiences.
And you had never been to it, and like you finally went, and I finally got to go with you guys, and that one's fun because there's some spirits involved of multiple varieties.
Well, let's hope they can do something to save that, for crying out loud.
We can still sneak on and make our own speakeasy.
All right. Speaking of events coming up, one of the biggest ones coming up is September 16th through the 31st on select dates. Not Scary
College
Farm.
football.
What,
Yeah, exactly. Go Browns.
But no, not Scary Farm. They call themselves
Ohio
the
State,
largest
actually.
and most haunting Halloween event in Southern California with unimaginable scares and innovative thrills. They are back. Tickets go on sale August 16th, and they say they will have more than 1,000 horrifying creatures lurking in the fog and hiding in every corner of the park. Woo-hoo. Carrie, who is a regular contributor to the show here, she does some interviews for us now, but she usually takes us on a special guided tour through haunt of Knott's Berry. Who here has been to Knott's Berry? Katie has, Luke has.
Yeah.
I loved it. Katie, what did you think?
It's probably okay, I have things that make each event good and things that make each event bad. That one's not highest on my list, that event.
Really? What problems did you have with it?
I've only been once, but and any scare actors in here, I mean, no disrespect. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody who runs these events. I'm just speaking off of my personal experience with haunts. And I don't work for any companies that can get mad at me now. But so my biggest thing is when I went to Not Scary Farm, I've only been once. I was kind of thrown out of it by people breaking character, and it kind of ruined my experience.
Okay, that's fair.
Because if you're walking the scare zones and someone breaks character, it's a bummer. But it is a darker event than like if you go to Universal Studios, like actually darker, like the actual streets and stuff are darker than what
the light is darker is what you mean.
Yes.
It's like a
cool.
And I did enjoy some of the scares, the jump scares that they had, and some of the different aspects that they have in their mazes that Universal does not. Like having to go like underneath something,
I love
through
that.
tunnels. That's a little bit better. Universal does not do that. So
There was a couple of things about it that I absolutely loved. And Kristen Gus says that she grew up going to Not Scary Farm. It definitely varies year to year. That's a good statement to make. I've been twice, and Luke, and we don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but what do you think about Not Scary as it compared to the other big scare events?
I've said this before on other shows, but they do very unique experiences there. Like when you go to like Universal, the best thing about it is they get the IP. They can do stuff that looks so close to the real thing. But what I love about Not Scary Farms is they create unique experiences where they'll have you like holding a flashlight that goes on and off, or they'll have you holding a gun where you can shoot zombies or other things like that. But they create this like unique
fake gun. Please clarify. Fake gun. All right.
Well, of course, squirt gun. Not just kidding.
or laser
guns.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll give you actual
pass out guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, we get guns for free with your tickets.
Exactly.
Infected was a highlight of the event when I went, which is the laser tag one. It was amazing.
Carrie,
Do whatever you want. It's fine.
And those fog experiences that they do with the lasers.
Wine have you drunk?
I haven't tried much. It's just she looks at these hand their guests like a gun, and I ran with the character.
If we have any listeners from overseas, they're like, see, in America, they just hand everybody guns at the theme park.
When they get drunk. Hey, Kitty,
Give everybody a beer and a shotgun.
You can only get beer or wine at Not Scary Farm.
Welcome to America.
What else do you need?
A beer, wine, a gun.
No, Luke, I'm sorry, we interrupted you. Are we saying? Luke.
Well, the last final point I want to make is they do cool stuff, and some of even Queen Mary kind of did this where they create like the fog with this like laser type thing where you feel like you're walking through a swamp kind of a thing. They tend to do stuff like that where they kind of create kind of this environment, that you can take your time just a tad more because a lot of times when you go to like the Universal, I love Halloween Horror Nights and all that, but it's like they jump out, they scare you, and then you could like literally turn your head and they're like going back to their spot. But like some of these other ones that aren't like those, that don't have just, I mean, they have the mass crowds as well, but they take their time a little bit and they kind of try to create something different than those Halloween Horror Night experiences.
Yeah.
Katie, did you go with Luke and I when we went to Not Scary?
I've only been once, and it was with a whole bunch of my old coworkers.
I do admit, though, one of my favorite mazes or haunted houses I've ever been into was at Not Scary, when they, like what Luke was talking about. And you guys may have seen it other places. They fill up the room with like low fog with a laser across it, and it looks like you're walking through a swamp, and then things come up above like this laser fog, and you have to walk through this room, and all the things are on the ground around you coming up. It is frightening, and I loved it. That was one of the best things I have ever been through. I loved it, and I haven't ever seen anything done that well.
Future Scare Jim video to come. He'll just walk in his house, and there'll be fog.
They do that at Queen Mary too. They did that at Queen Mary as well.
Yeah,
and that one's in the, I believe, in the ship, and you're like, ooh.
That ship's underwater. And then Not Scary, they also would, and one of the very first things we went through, we're sitting there, we're getting instructions for how to go through this haunted house, and then like witches and goblins come flying down from the rafters on ropes and flying over your head.
The bungee scares.
I love that. That was great. Universal Studios has done that before as well. But I tell you what, and Not Scary, the one thing that they did that I really am going to miss is the hanging. This special show they did every year. And I know we've talked about it. Universal had
Danae's face.
What's that?
Danae's face when you said, one thing I'm going to miss is the hanging. And
Boy,
the way you phrased it was,
we have alcohol, we have guns, and if you don't get along, we'll hang you.
Everybody come on down for a friendly family lynch mob. And that's what we're going to have right now.
We sound like such terrible people right now.
The way you phrased it sounded pretty bad, but I knew what you meant.
Let me explain what I'm talking about. The Hanging was a show where they spoofed and made fun of pop culture for that previous year, and they chose somebody who was like the worst person ever. And I guess it was kind of violent. They hung them.
And it's very not PC, so that's why
What?
They hanged a person in effigy? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, I guess, and I shouldn't love it so much, but it was so funny.
They can do better.
Anyway,
they made a comedy show out of it.
It's not just like I
get it. It's probably not the best choice, but I get it.
Yeah,
like,
it was going on for like 20 years, but I guess cultures change, and what happened was like the Bill and Ted show, the Hanging, and different shows that make fun of pop culture have gone away. They might come back because they always seem to step on somebody's somebody's toes who gets their bee in the bonnet. Boy, I'm using a lot of metaphors here. Mixing them all together.
Using a lot of metaphors from before 1955 as well is the other thing. These folks got to be in 1948.
Hey, Kristen, The Hanging was fantastic, and
so was Bill and Ted's, from what I hear, but I never got to see it.
You never saw Bill and Ted? I saw it like 10 times.
I never went to Horror Nights when it was a thing. So.
Oh my gosh, Bill and Ted was like one of the things that I wouldn't miss, and when they stopped doing it, I was just very sad, very sad. All right, let's go on to the next thing. So that is Knott's Berry Farm. Like we said, tickets go on sale August 16th, and it's going to be September 16th through the 31st. Danae, have you ever, in your time in Virginia, is it Virginia or West Virginia?
It's West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Very close to each other, by the way.
You don't want to ask if she's from Virginia. That's a question.
Have you ever been to the Williamsburg Six Flags?
I've not been to the Williamsburg Six Flags. I've been to Busch Gardens in Williamsburg.
You know what? That's what I'm actually talking about. So,
big difference.
Have you ever been to the Howl-O-Scream over at Busch Gardens?
I did. Derek would remember better because we went as a family when I was like 7 years old.
You went to Howl-O-Scream at 7 years old? Your parents are so cool.
I just remember it being decorated for Halloween, and I remember like the train ride, instead of taking you from one part of the park to the other, being haunted, like a whole like tour of haunted things around the park. and that's all I remember.
Well, Howl-O-Scream is a huge event which has been happening at the Busch Gardens of Tampa and Williamsburg for quite some time. This year, it is moving into SeaWorld, both Orlando and San Diego. In Orlando, it's September 10th through the 31st. September 10th through October 31st. And then in San Diego, September 17th through October 31st. SeaWorld is transplanting its Howl-O-Scream to SeaWorld San Diego. It first began 23 years ago at Busch Gardens Williamsburg and has spread throughout the rest of SeaWorld's nationwide portfolio of theme parks. It's going to have meet and greets, trick-or-treating, spectacular events, and haunted houses and mazes during the night. It's going to be PG-13. Apparently, in San Diego, in California, the park is evenly divided geographically between the family-friendly part and the PG-13 part.
I like that.
Which is kind of cool. It's going to be very separate.
I've never been to SeaWorld, so what I'm getting from this is that I need to go to SeaWorld.
Yeah.
This
To those of us, I was going to say, to those of us who are sensitive to the treatment of animals, SeaWorld has traditionally, kind of been like, oh, we didn't realize you were low-key abusing your animals unintentionally. But they are making much more efforts to be humane and to educate and all that good stuff. So I don't think, if you went in there and you were like giving them a white glove test, they may not be perfect, but they are making the effort, which I think counts for something. So.
I know
Now they have sharks that jump out and scare you.
What'd you say today?
I was gonna say they are like phasing out having orcas at their park.
Yep.
Like they are not like for several years now. They've decided to not bring any new ones in.
Yeah,
they are replacing them with dolphins that wear horror masks during Halloween.
I love that idea.
I'm lying. I am completely lying.
I was going along with it.
I mean, it sounds. If you had animatronic dolphins wearing masks, I think I'd be down. That'd be funny. Because when you'd be like, I saw a dolphin with a Michael Myers mask. I mean, like who else gets to say that they've seen that? But what I was going to say was, I saw that it says during the day they're doing a trick or treat trail, which curious to see if they still do that post with COVID, everything, all that stuff. But I love when events have trick or treating because I, an adult, cannot go trick or treating because I have no kids to take with me. And people frown at you when you are an adult going trick-or-treating.
You've got me. You've got me.
So I like the events.
Come on, you can go trick-or-treating. You just wear a costume that doesn't show your face. I did it in high school. If they can't see your face and you're not like super tall, so you
I'm definitely not super tall. But I like the events that have trick-or-treating and you don't have to worry about it, AKA Disney.
We're going on to Disney right now.
See what I did there?
Great transition, although I do have to say, Ben, I'm not going to say it out loud, but your private message about SeaWorld just made me laugh. All right. Your private comments. All right.
I made the private comment. That wasn't me.
I think we should go trick-or-treating sometime, Katie, on
that
Halloween.
Was Danae made it. All right.
That was Danae.
All right. So,
Jim, we say it in the private chat so that it doesn't come up on air.
Yeah, can we pop up private chat comments on? Yeah.
Disney has replaced its traditional Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party in Florida with a slightly pandemic-modified Disney After Hours Boo Bash, which is kind of the same thing, but they're going to have you're not going to be hugging any characters. They're going to prevent a lot of super big gatherings. And I don't know if they're going to have the concerts. I know they are having fireworks, so it's going to be kind of the same, but hopefully with that Disney magic, you're not going to be able to tell that you're being kept safe. I mean, that sounds terrible.
The protocol is if you tried to hug a character.
Hopefully you don't know that you're safe.
Honestly,
that sounds terrible.
I went to Disney post-COVID, and the meet and greets are still fun. Yeah, you're not getting like right up next to them, but it's still fun because they're still there. They're still standing there. You could just be like I'm hanging out with this character. I'm dancing in front of it, and you get more of the actual park in your picture. So,
and out here in California, the Oogie Boogie Bash is returning to.
Can you say that one more time, just because I like the way it sounds when you say that?
The Oogie Boogie Bash. I love the name of that. and it's named after the villain, Mr. Oogie Boogie from A Nightmare. Wait,
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas, which
I already watched.
Which is amazing, an amazing movie. Luke, have you ever seen A Nightmare Before Christmas?
I have. Jake, who's sometimes on our show, he showed me recently, which I didn't grow up watching it. It was on a lot of previews of things that I watched growing up, but for some reason I never saw it as a kid.
Coming soon to Disney Video.
Exactly.
Well, also,
small little promo. Nightmare Before Christmas live on stage is returning this year to the Los Angeles area, and Danny Elfman, the voice of the singing Pumpkin King, will be performing. So it's going to be very cool. It's not at the Hollywood Bowl this year. It's at, I think it's SoFi Stadium. So it's a big event.
Wow, that's a big
Holy crap. That's huge.
I think that is also to accommodate some spreading out.
Yeah, no, understandable.
So it's cool. It's very cool. So
I'll allow it.
I'm super stoked about that.
Also,
go ahead,
I'm really
Katie.
sorry. I have pictures from like almost all these events, and I really wish I had sent them to you guys. So I'm very sorry that I did not do that.
We got more Scare Guys coming up, Katie.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. This is our season premiere. All right, so let's jump into, let me see. I think we've gone over some of the big ones. There's some other big things happening across the country, and we will be touching on those, but we're going to jump into perhaps the most high-profile Halloween theme park attraction in the country, which is Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. I am wearing the original t-shirt from the very first year when it was called Fright Nights. By the way,
that t-shirt is older than I am.
I bought it this year.
It's Jim.
What's
that shirt, Jim?
Anyways, so this is in Orlando. This is the 30th anniversary of Halloween Horror Nights. It's their 30th edition. We're in Hollywood. I'm not sure which one it is. It's not quite 30. Why, Katie?
Wait, it starts September 3rd in Orlando?
Yes. So Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights begins on Friday, September 3rd, Labor Day weekend, and Hollywood's starts Thursday, September 9th. Select tickets and vacation packages are now on sale for both Orlando and Hollywood Horror Nights.
They want those extra days that they didn't get last year.
I do have to say, during 2019, Disney started Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party in August, mid-August. So, which is ridiculous. Anyways, love you, Disney, but that's early. You can download the Halloween Horror Nights complete event guide app right now. All local health and safety guidelines in each park will be followed, which it's kind of like an iffy thing. Like, we're hoping that the Delta variant will come down a little bit. We're hoping that it looks like, I've been reading reports that because of the scare, it looks like vaccinations have gone up in a bunch of states. We'll see in 2 weeks how that affects. I know that LA, as of this past weekend, had a little bit of a dip, but the whole rest of the state of California went way up in cases. So we don't know where we're at, but we're not here to. That's not our thing. We're just saying fingers are crossed. We get good with that. If we can get to a place where we can get back to safe gathering, this is what we are looking at right now. Most of Hollywood seems to have been announced. Like we think we have most of the Hollywood mazes announced. I think they're going to finish the Hollywood maze announcements this weekend at Midsummer Scream. Whereas in Orlando, if you go to the Orlando Hollywood Horror Nights page, they got like 6 more coming soon, big announcements. Full disclosure, I'm going to Cheeseman. I think you're going to. We're going to the Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando, September. I'm gonna look real quick. September 26th. September 26th. And what's cool is in Orlando, we're staying at the Cabana Bay Resort, which is an Orlando property, and they have converted their central bar area into a Hollywood Horror Nights Icons bar. So all the icons of the past 30 years, it's a special experience. I'm so stoked about it. I'm almost more excited about that than going to the event itself. You get meets and greets with all the characters will come into the bar. There's special drinks and food and special photography and Instagram locations. So I am excited about that. I love the way that this event is expanding into the resorts and outward. So let's talk about.
You can also visit the Scare Guy himself, probably hang out in the lobby all night.
Cheeseman, I don't want my fans bother me. Don't. If you come buy me a drink, you're coming on the show. That's all I'm going to say.
You'll have sevens of people coming up to you.
Yeah.
if we're lucky, if all 6 viewers watching
Make
tonight
him a
will be
$100
there.
bet, double or nothing, Ben, that he beats somebody in the lobby that day, that time. That'll
Somebody comes up to you and goes, "Con guy."
Here's the one thing that you guys will soon learn about me. 5 minutes after I meet you, I am your best friend. We are drinking and eating and having the best time.
He won't remember your name, though.
That's how I got
He's got gymnesia.
He will not remember your name.
Or he'll say it wrong. But
All right, so here we go. Here's what has been announced so far. The first big house, which looks like it's going to be both in Orlando and Hollywood. The Haunting of Hill House, Season 1. Season 1. Has everybody seen it?
Season 1 superior to season 2.
I have
It
not
is.
watched it yet.
Wait, Katie, you haven't seen Hill House? Look, where are you going?
No.
Watch the first season. The second season is like fine, but it's not as spooky. It's not
yeah,
as like
it's fine. Yeah, like Hill House it was so good. And yeah, I would love if, like, as a group, the con crew could just go and just see, like, this house, even if it's, I don't know if you pay per house or what, but
Danae, we'll tell you what, we'll try to make that happen. From what I understand, I've been listening to a bunch of different podcasts, like H&H 365, and which is a great podcast. They already, for the last year, they built the facade of the house inside one of the giant sound stages, and it looks amazing. It's
Wow.
this giant facade of the Hill House, the Hill House. And you know what? I don't have to be scared, but the fact that I'm walking into the facade of the Hill House is just
that
going
is
to
so
be nothing.
cool. I
I'm
just
just
have
gonna-
one comments to make.
Hmm.
If
Katie?
we, sorry.
No, go ahead,
Oh,
Danae.
Oh, I was just going to say, if we go as a group, I will need people to hold my hands the whole time. Not because I get scared, but as my roommate can attest, if you jump scare me, I will strike out. And exactly, it's more like slap and kick, but I haven't hit her yet, but I've come pretty close a couple of times. So I would love to go as long as somebody holds my hands. Like even
we're
if one
going. We're
person-
going. And Cheeseman, what's on your head?
We're going to take a brief break for our non-sponsor. I recently bought a Jaws can opener that is one of the barrels. This is something that recently came out. And why I slipped off screen was because I went to go get myself a bottle of beer. So now I'm going to unbox this little baby
Wait. So
and see what this thing looks like.
short little 30-second break for people who are just listening. He's holding up a box with a yellow. What is it? Describe it.
It's one of the barrels.
where the barrel
Number
floats.
3, he can't go.
Where the barrel
It's an
floats
odd
from Jaws,
spot.
if you recall.
Look at this. Look at this
Okay.
thing. This
So
thing
hold it
is
up.
metal.
A yellow metal barrel that says Jaws on it, and it is a bottle opener.
Let's
That
see.
is
if
the
it works.
weirdest
Perfect time
design.
for a podcast
It's
to do
like
this.
one of the. Oh,
Ben's a
Oh.
bartender. Is that it? Does that sound
That was
like a
pretty
bottle opening?
satisfying.
That is a
Now I
bottle
get-
opening. That is a very awkward position to open
Yeah.
a bottle in, though.
Yes.
yeah. So they
By
didn't
the
do
way-
like the shark's mouth or the boat or anything. It's let's just give them a
Now I
barrel.
get why we stopped right now to do the bottle opener podcast
Because
promotion.
Luke wanted a beer.
Yes.
Hey,
Okay, Katie, what
let's
were
be
you
real.
saying?
I was gonna say, if there's one thing that the con guy doesn't love, it's definitely not nerdy bottle openers.
I've got so many. All right. The next one, both Orlando and Hollywood. This one is kind of a throwback, but it's kind of cool. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original movie. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie has consistently terrified audiences for years. This one is inspired by the 1974 film, not the remakes. And the mazes at Halloween Horror Nights will have guests try to outrun Leatherface through a series of familiar scenes. I just got to say this. I don't know if I've ever been to a Halloween Horror Nights where somebody with a chainsaw has not chased me. So I'm not downing this one.
See, you really shouldn't go to Horror Nights with me because I don't know scare actors who will literally recognize me and single me out.
That's I mean, really, aren't chainsaws kind of like they're part of every haunted attraction I've ever been in my life? Again, for a good reason. But let's jump into this next one. This next one is
And this is
super-
starting a while ago, so People that knew Jim in the hood used to chase him
I
around
used
with
to go to
chainsaws.
haunted houses back in the 70s when the JC's organization used to put them on. Yeah, I'm that old.
Real chainsaws.
This is
Social
true.
distanced chainsaws. 6
Universal Monsters, The Bride of Frankenstein Lives is it's one of the most exciting things. It's both in Orlando and Hollywood Parks. Katie, I just saw some excitement from you.
So, as unexcited as I am for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I know, unpopular opinion, but it's not like we haven't seen it at multiple Hollywood Horror Nights. Universal Monsters, The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. Universal Monsters was one of my favorite mazes that they've had in a few years. So I am glad we are getting another Universal Monsters maze. I am really excited to see The Bride of Frankenstein in all her glory, and I think it's going to be fun. If it's even half as good as the first Universal Monsters maze, then it's going to be great. So
I got to ask Ben a question. Ben, why is it kind of weird that The Bride of Frankenstein has such a giant fan base? Like, how long was she on screen? Do you remember?
Oh, I couldn't tell you how long she was on screen. It wasn't a lot.
1 minute.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, less than Hannibal Lecter.
But
and
she's
the
hot.
original Silence of the Lambs.
Like but she had such an influence because I think, you of course had Boris Karloff was Frankenstein, and he invented that role as well as the Mummy, and was a key part of that classic, Universal Monsters thing. But the Bride of Frankenstein introduced, first of all, a female energy into it, which I thought a lot of people really got off on. You're not got off on, but like,
whoa!
I'm pretty sure that's true. Also,
We just went up a rating.
But when you look at just the character design, the huge hair with the lightning stripes up the side, and the gaunt pale face, and like, this was the Bride of Frankenstein. It's that that kind of campy 1930s, 1940s era, or I guess.
1935.
Oh, okay, yeah. 1935 era of like the Bride of Frankenstein. It's
so
and
great. It's so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was along with that whole. It was very popular. Like Lugosi as Dracula and all these classic Hollywood monsters. Then you bring in the Bride of Frankenstein, and you've got this great female character who's only on screen. I think that's part of it. She becomes a cult classic. She's only on screen for 1 minute. Everybody loves her. You can get everything you want.
Who doesn't like a good female horror icon?
But here's what's cool. This is what the haunted house is, the maze. Guests will be thrust into the story as the bride becomes a scientist and begins her life mission to revive Frankenstein's monster. Her quest to discover the key to eternal life will come at a cost, and guests will soon find themselves caught up in a battle as they attempt to escape. So she's like, this is cool. This is like the sequel. This is like the Bride of Frankenstein Part 2. She's back. She's trying to revive the love of her life, this ugly old Boris Karloff dude. And she's looking for eternal life. This is like, I'm so excited about this. This is the one maze I'm the most excited about. The most excited about. All right.
I have a question.
What
Do
is
you
your
think
question?
the legendary guitarist Slash will do any music for that? Because he did in the past.
Who knows?
That was
We shall find out. Probably at Midsummer Scream, we'll find out.
They might announce it at Midsummer
Slash
Scream.
might have scored something again.
For those who are listening, a couple of years ago, Slash was a guest at Midsummer Scream, and he came out and previewed some music that he had composed for the Universal.
Actually, it was Scare LA, just to give them proper credit.
Okay,
He was at Scare LA, and they did announcements there. Usually, Universal, they'll do their announcements at Midsummer Scream, but one year they did do Scare LA, and that's when Slash came.
All right, the next maze. This one's a Hollywood legend. This one's only in Hollywood. The original 1973 Exorcist, starring Linda Blair, will forever be one of the most scary movies of all time. It's coming back as a maze. This is a returning maze to Hollywood, to Hollywood's version of Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. And it should be mentioned that Hollywood does have a number of returning mazes this year. If you look out and look at the fan reaction, a lot of fans are kind of like blowing some smoke at this, like, oh, I can't believe it. Hey, guys. John Murdy and the rest of the staff have been laid off for a year. We're just lucky to get an event. So the fact that we're having some mazes return, I'm just happy.
I get that, but this is not the first time that they're returning. It's a very common thing with Horror Nights.
Is it really?
Are you kidding? Really? We've had so many of these types of mazes.
Horror Nights returns again.
I mean, how many times do we have Halloween mazes? How many times do we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre? How many times have we had all? I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm saying it's not new. But I get it. This is a different year. I'm happy it's back too. But
How many
I think
Christmases has Santa
I think
Claus
people
come
just
down?
want to see new stuff. So
Here's the thing, like Knott's Berry Farm, aren't most of their mazes
Yeah.
return mazes?
yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
No, I get your point. Like, I can't get enough of the Halloween mazes, the movie Halloween. And the thing I'm most disappointed in, the big maze that was supposed to be in Hollywood this year was Halloween 3. They were supposed to be doing a Halloween 3 maze, but apparently it has fallen off of the map and it's no longer being done, which makes me very upset. Very upset. Okay, our next maze. This one is also only in Hollywood. This is a return maze, but this is a very cool maze. The Curse of Pandora's Box.
But it's a sequel. As far as I know, it is not the same maze. It's the second part.
Really, an ancient horror has returned to prey on those foolish enough to tempt the fates with their curiosity and greed. Enter Pandora's Curiosity Shop, where her infamous box lies. Sounds kind of sexual. Once it is opened, all manner of evil will be unleashed. Greek mythology is about to become your monstrous reality. I got to tell you, this was one of my all-time favorite mazes in Hollywood. I loved it.
Danae needs to go with us because Danae, here's the thing. As much as I hate the returning mazes, Pandora's Box, like what Jim said, was amazing. And it was an original maze, and it was so good. And the one I went through, you actually got to see the Pandora's Box open. You don't see it with everyone, and when I tell you I saw Medusa, I was freaking out because I love Greek mythology, and so
I wrote a book about Persephone. My name literally comes from Greek mythology. Y'all, we got to go.
We're going.
Go.
We are going. By the way, I do have to throw this in there. A lot of people throw shade at either they love the original mazes and they throw shade at the IP mazes. I love the IP mazes. Absolutely love the IP mazes. But I do have to say, when Pandora's Box was there, this is the only maze I went in twice the same year. It was so well done. I remember the big library, and you go back past the bookshelf, and then you go into the world of Greek mythology turned evil. It is here. Whoever wrote the question, because I was in a hurry. Anyways, next.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it again.
Ben Cleaver keeping me on my toes. Orlando has a maze which was originally supposed to be in 2 parts, but right now it's only in Orlando. Say it once, say it twice, say it 3 times. Somebody say it.
Beetlejuice.
No. Oh, wouldn't that be awesome though? No.
What did Ben say?
Somebody say his name 3 times. His name 3
What
times.
did Ben say?
I said Candyman.
Oh, okay.
Betelgeuse.
Oh, he said it the right way. Beetlejuice is right now scheduled for Orlando only, but it was originally scheduled for both parks. I was listening to some podcast recently, and apparently this is a dispute with legal licensing fees, and like Beetlejuice showed up for a day in 2020, and so that fulfilled the licensing agreement. So now they don't get it. I don't know. It's a big mess. I'm very disappointed it's not out here in Hollywood, but I will see him in Orlando.
If only Ben was a Michael Keaton fan, people would go.
Honestly, I hope.
It
would be a bummer if it doesn't show up at Hollywood. I think that would be a very special maze, and a lot of people in LA would really like that. Beetlejuice is a meet and great character in the park too, so.
I'm going to tell you, I love the idea. When my very first Halloween Horror Nights and my first 10 Halloween Horror Nights, they had this thing called the Beetlejuice Review in Orlando. I used to live in Orlando, and that's where I went for the first 5 years. And then I'd go back there and visit every year when I lived out here in Los Angeles. But I loved the Beetlejuice show. They had this Beetlejuice show with all the characters and singing and dancing, and it was high energy and very, very irreverent, appropriate for an after hours adult audience. I loved it, and the fact that earlier this year or last month they announced Beetlejuice here for both parks, and I was like, yes, and everybody out here in California was super stoked. But then it looks like it went away, and so we don't know yet. Hopefully they're not done.
See what Saturday has in store.
Saturday, John Murray. Let's see what he's got in store.
If every one of us says Beetlejuice 3 times, will that mean that the maze shows up?
Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Beetlejuice. It's coming. It's coming. All right. And one of the biggest things coming to Orlando, which is not coming to Hollywood, is the Hollywood Horror Nights Icons house. Universal Orlando Resort has confirmed that Hollywood Horror Nights Icons Captured is among the 30th anniversary Halloween Horror Nights events coming this fall. And for those of you who have never been to Orlando, it's like Jack the Clown, the director, was it the Undertaker? They've all these weird characters that they've created to represent and market the event that are super creepy and probably creepier than any of the IP that they bring in. For example, I remember I was one Horror Nights way back in the day. I'm really old, guys. I was sitting in the Terminator 2 attraction, with John Connor and the Terminator, and they're running around. All the lights go off. Smoke is everywhere. The whole room fills with smoke. And as the smoke clears, there's an evil clown in the middle of the room, and he reaches out to the crowd to get us, and he jumps at us right as the lights go off, and everybody starts screaming. It was amazing. Those types of characters represent Universal Studios Orlando each year. I don't think we've had them out here in Hollywood very much, but that is something that they have there in Orlando that I'm super stoked about. And again, this is the 30th anniversary year. So cool. And then we got one more. I'm getting text all over the place all of a sudden. Okay, and we got one more to announce here in Hollywood that they don't have in Orlando. It's a big one. What is it, guys?
I don't know.
It's at the bottom of our sheet.
Where? Because I didn't see it.
Okay, it is the Terror Tram.
Oh, you put it like not even bolded. Did they officially announce that it's happening this year?
Yeah, they did. What?
You sure?
I'm not sure.
Because I know 2 years ago they did not have Terror Tram.
They dropped it off 2 years ago. Most of the sites and the podcasts are saying that they have heard that Terror Tram is coming back. They don't know what the theme is this year, but they have some big tents out in the back lot of Universal Studios for some events. So they're reconfiguring the Terror Tram this year. So it's still happening. It's really cool, but this is the first year it's back in 2 years. So it's a really cool event. All right, guys.
Here's the thing. Yeah. What is that?
Oh.
Okay. Well,
what a good question.
I don't know if I want to tell her, because some of the best thing about Terror Tram is not knowing
just
what
tell
you're
her
getting in for.
Am I going through a walkthrough? Am I riding something? Am I going to a movie?
Yes, to both of those. Yeah,
let's just keep it very just like.
No, you got to tell her what it is. During the daytime. No. I'm not gonna. No spoilers. But Danae, the backlot tram tour that Universal Studios has, it takes you through all the backlot. It's a 45-minute tour. At nighttime, it becomes the Terror Tram, where guests will board the tram and take off into the unknown. And it's like a 45-minute terror experience out in the backlot of Universal Studios. It's amazing.
You have to swim in the water by the Jaws shark.
Norman Bates jumps on the tram and just starts stabbing everybody.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in years past, Norman Bates and the Psycho House has been a big part of the Terror Tram.
It's been amazing, great.
Yeah, you go out, you take your picture. I have pictures with them, and there's you go through the wreckage of the Mars Attacks plane. You have zombies, you have the Purge, and you have all kinds of things happening. It's a great thing. Yeah. Mainly, it's doing a lot of running and screaming out in the back lot before you jump back on the Terror Tram that brings you back to the safe.
You just gave away You just gave it away. This is why we don't trust you to give.
Yeah.
No.
You'll be surprised how many guys out there look like
am I riding the whole time? Am I walking? Is it a mixture of both?
I'm not telling you.
And there's a helicopter ride, and there's a plane ride, and then the underwater part is awesome. I love that part. All right.
And then they murder you.
Guys, all right, guys, we are going to wrap up our first episode of the year. Somebody is calling me right now. Oh, hold 1 second.
We're getting emails right now. That's how big this show is.
I have a guest at the front gate trying to get in. Whoever it is coming in right now. So I got to call
Jake Thomas in front of the show.
Hey guys, I have loved this first episode of Halloween Horror Nights fandom for the year. Scare Guy. This is so exciting. Ben, did you text me your Venmo?
I did. I texted it to the group, and then Danae charged me $800.
All right. I want everybody to know I am sending Ben $100 right now. I'm not going to do it right this second because it takes too long. But Ben is getting $100 from me because he is right. Gina Carano is still online. Happy Halloween, everybody. Where can people find you, Katie?
You can find me across all social media at KT_Christine, where you can follow my 100 Days of Halloween Happy, where I post Halloween pictures. I will be posting one later. I'm joined by one of the Addams family members right now, so you should just follow my Halloween adventures on the Instagrams.
All right, Danae.
You can find me on Instagram at DNAYS, and you can find Katie and me both at The Con Girls. We're posting a lot of fun things on there, going live occasionally. And yeah, let's go Halloween 2021.
We're trying to put together a show where we talk about why are women so fascinated with serial killers and murder documentaries when we spend our whole lives trying to not actually become victims of a serial killer.
That's going to be awesome for this Halloween season to get out.
Yeah.
That is super cool. Ben, you do not have a picture on your Ben Cleaver, correct?
Do I
He
not?
just told you people your Venmo on the air.
Well, that's cool.
Okay.
They can send the money.
I just told someone
I do
to
not
come
have a
in
picture.
and knocked at the
I do
door.
not.
All right, Luke, where can people find you?
Oh,
You skipped Ben.
who's this
No,
person?
I didn't skip him. Ben's going last.
That was
I
the
do want to make a special announcement. I was watching a movie called Halloween Resurrection with Jim years ago, and he said, I'll give you $100 if Jamie Lee Curtis shows up in another Halloween movie. And then last year it happened, so I'm just saying, Jim, you owe me $100, man.
I just want to say that
recorded.
before the show, Jim said I'd pay you $300 if you wore cat ears. So it was me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Luke,
Hey,
where
come
can
say
people
hello,
find
Jake
you?
Thomas.
Luke, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at cheeseoncouch and also thescareguy.com. And if you're seeing a masked man behind me, not in Katie's scary room, I got a scary masked man behind me. This is Jake Thomas. Speaking of Halloween,
Jake
he's a
Thomas!
friend of the Scare Guy, Con Guy.
No.
Here not to kill me from
Hey,
the
I
Warner
love
Brothers
that
tour.
guy.
Okay. I'm
JT
gonna let Ben
Hummus.
end the show, but
That's
you
what
can
it
find
says.
me at Jim Fry, the Scare
It does.
Guy. You can find me at James D. Fry on Twitter. Ben, did you just receive my?
Oh, James Fry paid me $100.
Yeah, I did it. I was hoping that was you. Ben, take us out.
Oh, everybody, the Halloween season has started. Get out the spooky DVDs or Blu-rays if you're rich. Get out all of your decorations and your Charlie Brown ghost costumes because Halloween season is here. And for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Ben Cleaver. This has been that #show.com. Thank you again to our sponsors, Neft Vodka, who always reminds you to please drink responsibly, as well as toink.com, where you can get all kinds of cool stuff. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at BENKLIEWER, or you can search the hashtag BK421. You can also find me on, hopefully coming up again soon, on stand-up comedy stages across Los Angeles. As well as looking to get back into that movie and TV scene, and more fun stuff coming up. And thank you, Jim, for being a man of your word and paying me $100 for our bet. And remember, everyone, the reason I'm drinking out of this red cup is because whenever Ben Cleaver shows up, it's always a party. Have a good one, everybody.
And Denzel, he's ready for his next role with you, by the way.
I'm ready, Denzel. I'm ready.
Bye-bye. Happy Halloween.